Voices from the ghetto. Help us, Father. Oh, Lord. Mothers does just hold it head on ball. And them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter. Son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for he ain't named bad boys. No bail, that's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time could tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly will growling. Police raid very often, Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto, not to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying.
Yes, indeed, of course, it cannot be said otherwise that the series that we have been engaged in, looking for and, of course, establishing where there is evidence and therefore precedent of sustainable solutions to the socio-economic and psycho-cultural issues and problems of the East-West corridor, and in particular among, of course, the African community. Let's not waste time. They don't want to tell you, but this SOE is targeting, of course, Africans, our African youths, our African community. And of course, while we focus on the East-West corridor as the highest concentration, not just in the country in terms of density of population, but also the fact that it is populated, the East-West corridor, mainly by Africans. We, of course, will not ignore our brothers and sisters in Labre and, of course, Point Fortin and place and pockets where, of course, the African community resides in, of course, in numbers. But the fact of the matter is that this SOE is targeting Africans, and let's just not waste time. We have wasted too much time in sympathizing and compromising and saying no and being in denial, because Rowley went in 2011 and the UNC had implemented, of course, a state of emergency. He was bleeding heart. He said that the African community was targeting. He said his own kind. He said as the leader of the PNM and therefore an African-based party. You see, I am saying so without any fear of contradiction or to rubbish the argument that the PNM has not lived to survive off the backs of the African community, and for Rowley to tell us insultingly, disrespectfully, unashamedly, that of course Stuart Young will now, of course, represent that new symbolization, and in an attempt, of course, futilely, of course, attempting, of course, to tell us it's no big thing. But he spent his whole 10 years and before that castigating the Indian community. But of course, trying to tell us that an Indian in the PNM is sanitized, is better than an Indian in any other part of the country, particularly if they are associated with the UNC. So it is clear that it is an argument of convenience and an argument, of course, that is intended, of course, to grab power in this country. And we must, of course, become conscious of the fact that that is the objective and that is the mandate and that is the manipulative agenda of this fella called Rowley. And he must not escape when he tried to foist, of course, a Chinese upon us and then telling us that the Chinese made up of Indians, and he has spent his entire 10 years castigating the Indian community, everything Indian. Once, of course, it is not an Indian within his party. Let us not waste time. And therefore, you rank and file, and you, of course, who have some dribble of a consideration of the PNM, you must know that you have been betrayed massively. You must not be, of course, be subjected to that kind of what I consider to be not just disrespectful, not just bigotry, and not just racial baiting, but of course that pseudo-racism that Rowley has, of course, advocated and practiced since, of course, we know him in public life. Let us not waste time. And he told us all kinds of things about the Indians, and every one of them has turned out to be total lies, only, of course, to try to get where he is and to have, of course, the PNM grab for power in this country under his control. So Churchong is just another iteration, another exemplification, another episode of that dominance that he wants to still maintain, even though he says that he would have given up, of course, the prime ministerial position and, of course, that of the leadership of the PNM. But we know that, of course, that has come reluctantly. The argument and, of course, the evidence is clear. Trump in, he gone. Trump in, he gone. But, of course, wants to maintain a certain level of control, and therefore, of course, we know that Churchong knows all where the skeletons are buried. In other words, all the corrupt acts that they have been engaged in conspicuously and against, of course, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and have done harm, pain, agony, and delivered, of course, a level of betrayal that is unprecedented. Yes, indeed. A pleasant good night to all and sundry. Welcome, of course, as we continue, of course, to look at the ghetto situation, as well as, of course, solutions. Yes, indeed. That is what we are all about here tonight. But we have, of course, to call a spade a spade. So the hypocrisy of Rowley must be, of course, dismissed, dismantled, and, of course, exposed. It cannot be. Yes, you young people in Laventille, in Diego Martin, the African community that struggles, of course, in the East-West corridor, pay attention. Pay attention. The day of what I consider to be re-education is here on the corridor transformation.
And a hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the street as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. People, don't you understand? The child needs a helping hand, or he'll grow to be an angry young man someday. Take a look at you and me. Are we too blind to see? Do we simply turn our heads and look the other way? Well, the world turns. A hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the street as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. were burned. He starts to roam the streets at night. He learns how to steal and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Then one night in desperation, the young man breaks away, buys a gun, he steals a car, he tries to run, but he don't get far in the ghetto, in the ghetto. And his mama cried, mama cries, yeah. Crowd gathers round an angry young man face down on the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto. As her young man died on a cold and gray Chicago morn, another little baby child is born in the ghetto. In the ghetto. Yeah, yeah, baby, that's how it is. That's how it is in the ghetto. Yeah, ooh, ghetto. In the ghetto. In the ghetto.
Yesterday, of course, formally a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. Yes, indeed. Let's pause for a cause. The cause is, of course, we have to start the program, of course, in earnest, and to, of course, continue with the fact that, and on the theme of, it is upon us, the sustainable addressing of the problems along the East-West corridor where the African community resides in a density greater than any other part of the country relies. It is on our own initiative, our own volition, our own creativity, our own essence of right and wrong, our own essence of taking care of our own. Because clearly, those who would have given the opportunity, purporting to be, of course, our savior, and of course, in line with, of course, what is required for the advancement of the African community along the East-West corridor. And I'm speaking there specifically to you young people because my heart go out for you. It cannot be that Rowley, of course, will go to the Bitham when he was opposition leader and talks about, of course, the Bitham having special problem is a special place and therefore special solutions. And then, of course, time stood still in terms of the 10 years that they would have had the opportunity, he would have had the opportunity to engage the community and to do so with, of course, the kind of resolution and sustainable development and advancement that one would have expected based on his talk while he's in opposition. But let's go to the lines. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Yes, good night, Mr. Lennox. I call you early before the calls start coming in.
Yes, I understand that.
The rest of the crowd listening to the pavement climbed over the UNC.
Yeah, so no problem. It doesn't matter, man. We have a job to do. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Yes. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
First things first, I send you some screenshots with some people and things. If all them right. could send, I send in. Okay. I am a gang, we taking screenshot too.
I hear you.
So, what I want to tell you is, I heard on the ground report talking about the illegals, the migrants from the different countries in Latin America, etc., etc. Yes. But as we all know, the largest crowd is the Venezuelan.
Yes.
And I talking on my Latin America thing because I just pay attention to that. Only
Yes.
listen
Yeah,
to only
you
local
are. I
politics.
consider you a specialist in that area. So go right
Right.
ahead. Yes.
Watch me now. So they went to the United States. It's the largest migration with these from Venezuela. Is 8 million and counting that leave the country and go other parts of the world.
Yes.
So you know who caused all this thing for Trump to start to send them out black is white? You know who caused that? How that happened?
Tell me.
Hmm?
You'll have. I'm sure you ask me that because you
But
know. But go
everybody,
ahead.
the behavior of these people, they went there and they start to get on crazy. Eh? And there's all this ruction they make all this thing happen for the other migrants who go into the United States for a little refuge. They have to send them back. So I want all who love them, right? All who love them to pay attention to the havoc they cause in the United States. And where you see the thing reverse, they go hit any country now in the Caribbean, right? They
Yes.
come in, they putting themselves anywhere right now. So we have to see to deal with them. They put the SOE for the black people. This is what we have to focus on. They put it for the niggers. You understand? I
Yes.
just talk plain. We
Well,
have to
I've
talk
said
so.
that
Don't
earlier
no
as well. So
trying to
I
hunt
agree.
it. Yes, you're right. They put it for them. Why the hell they ain't lock down these people and check them out? People talking about that this morning, and it's a good idea. Go all where they're working. Hmm? And see who have pass to work, permit to work, and who ain't have, and deal with them people who employing them, right? We can't be talking, so we have to put on with foot. So I just want to say that,
Yes.
and I hope it will have one voice. Everybody lead to one voice that way, and we push forward to start from now. We don't have to wait for Kamala to go inside. The law is there. We want action in the morning. The ground report is a powerful program, and we don't have time for nonsense. We serious on this one.
Yes, man.
Okay, Lennox.
Thank you very much, of course, for that early intervention, my friend. Yes, indeed. Of course. Yes, of course. There is of course a report. Yes, UNC report at the Shoguanas South secondary school tonight. It began, of course, at 7, so an hour just before us. So, of course, Kamala Prasad Bisesa may well be on the platform right now. I am tempted, of course, to go straight there to see what is happening there. Let me see if I can get Kamala Prasad Bisesa on, if she is on, because, of course, as I said, the only party that is sympathetic of the two is that of the UNC. We have to repose our trust because that is the choice we have. We have one or the other, and it's not a question of lesser or greater evil. I don't see it that way. As in that way, I see it as the party that, of course, is best suited to manage the affairs of the country at this point in time and to take us out of the morass and the decadence and the evil that is, of course, Trinidad and Tobago has been plunged into, and largely because, not because of its own volition, but because of a party that clearly is in government that ought not to be in government in the first place. So we are going to, of course, look at that as we continue with the program. But let's go to the lines one time. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to all your listeners. Share the life, and to all and sundry, to all the contributors. And let's go up to 20,000. Uncle Lennox,
Hey.
the political leader, is not in the meeting tonight. She asked for excuse. She have a prayer engagement.
All right, okay. Well, then
So,
let me don't look for that again. Then I would have liked to hear what she had to say tonight. Thank you very much, of course, for that piece of information. All right, go ahead. Yes.
Our deputy political leader, Ms. Jolene John.
Yeah,
is
I'm
delivering
seeing her there
a
now
message.
at the podium at this point in time.
Yep.
But I wouldn't carry it because of that piece of information that you gave. yesterday. But thank you, of course, for reminding me that I ought to say that we want to go up to 20,000 on a nightly basis, and therefore, of course, we have a commitment and a dedication so to do. But go ahead if you want to make an additional contribution. No, it doesn't appear so. I see that you're off now. So let me go back, of course, to of course, our regular programming now that we are aware that what we try to, of course, communicate with is not in fact so, because of the absence of the political leader. But of course, it will give me time to, of course, further explain for those of you who just came on and is unaware of what I consider the deconditioning agenda that we have on the corridor transformation for persons along the East-West corridor, the African community in particular, and to expose, of course, the hypocrisy of the PNM, and of course this political leader still, Keith Christopher Rowley, who clearly has demonstrated that he is a rapscallion, that he is deceptive, that he is perfidious, that of course he is a betrayer, and that of course the hoodwinking of the population over the decades, that the PNM somehow is a black man party, is now poignantly in our faces and to be rubbished. And to say no, it is about opportunity, one, to line their pockets with our money, and two, to stay in government, to acquire government in order to do that, and to, of course, rub shoulders with the shakers and movers, the hard-working developers, or should I say patriots of this country, and then, of course, disgrace the various laudable and revered offices of state, public offices, whether as a minister, whether as a cabinet as a whole, whether as prime minister, or whether as, of course, a policy maker. That is what that is all about. Dominance. And to, of course, disregard the rule of law. Disregard the separation of powers. Disregard in constitutionally protected institutions in this country. And we have had a plethora, too much, not to be on the right path, and cannot be, of course, dispelled or in any way denounced, because the regularity with which that has occurred cannot be that it is an accident. What am I talking about in specificity? I am talking about, of course, the amount of recusals in the cabinet itself for conflict of interest matters. Over 500. Yeah, I in a cabinet, and my friend get a contract, and I have to just walk out according to Rowley when they're going to make a decision. So I so stupid as a citizen not to know that before they went in there, it didn't have cell phone. It didn't have occasions to meet wherever it is agreed upon, whether it's a restaurant or on the beach, as the case may be, and make a decision there and do a wrong robin, of course, with your colleagues. And then when you go and sit down in the cabinet itself, it is as if it is a fait accompli, and therefore all you have to do now is to walk out, because you know what the results will be in advance. In, of course, business, it is called insider trading. Well, with these fellas and women, it is called corruption, nepotism, cronyism, and a betrayal of their oath of office, and therefore should be jettisoned. You cannot tell me that it happened once, all right? It happened twice. Let's say you give them that 3 times, all right? You say, well, listen, maybe they are unfortunate, but 500 times? Short Young alone have something like 36% 36% of the recusals for his brother and family. And Rowley want to foist that despicable Norarian, according to my mother, that despicable Norarian, corrupt, Chinese origin or heritage on us. On us. No, cannot be. For Prime Minister, no. After you told all of the African community, trust me, Kamala and them in 2011, they call her SOE to put our young people in jail. He didn't care that before that, it was Africans that were occupying the jails in this country, and the PNM would have been, of course, superintending, would have been in office all that time. And therefore, it would have been natural, just a man caller, it would have been natural for, of course, Africans to be the ones that are generating the pain and ache and the distress in the society. He pretended no, he loved them too bad. And today, he calls a state of emergency to deal with the same people that he said he loved. And pretending that is not so because he's remaining silent. Well, I say silence is consent. You're damn guilty, Rowley and the PNM. Let's go to Eliza. Pleasant good night. Welcome to Tobago. Welcome to the program.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Silver Fox here.
Yes. Pleasant good night.
Yes, man. Good night to everyone. Now, we just talk about justice.
Yes.
We talk it. Justice is not for poor people. Justice is for rich people. Jail is for poor people. Because look how much money missing on the inboard and no investigation. If you only make a mistake and 1,000, 3,000, 100,000 missing as a poor man, you see how much people from fraud got inside your house and all kind of and making all kind of bacchanal ready to put handcuff on you.
Well, especially if you're a Tobago secretary.
Right?
Especially if you're a Tobago secretary right now. That's an endangered species. Well, go ahead.
So why PNM hierarchies, as you call them, why they cannot go before the court when they do wrong? It is not right. Look at Stuart Young's stepdaughter. What she is alleged in Venezuela, right? Next thing they gonna tell you, they try the case online and she win the case because she free. This is the next thing we're gonna be hearing. She free. What is wrong? What is wrong with we black people? What is wrong with black people? What the unions? All of them thought they was getting the refinery, and they're not getting it. They dropped 4% on them. Look, Saeed, he doing a business with credit union, and he giving 5%, and the big government can't give 5, they giving 4. What is wrong with we? Where we are in this world? What we should do? We know what to do, but we're not doing it. We just sit down and taking licks day by day. I never meet people could take licks so like Trinidad and Tobagonians. I never meet people backboard so. They're getting licks every day and they like that. But hey, if an Indian was the prime minister of this country they gone haywire, he got uproar, things would have burned. Me call him for things are burned, but things would have burned in this country. We would not know day from night because the sort of light and smoke we would have been seeing. What is wrong with us? All we got to do is to bar talk one another. All we do is to condemn one another. All we just do is to keep down one another. But we're not fighting together with one another. We always divided. Slavery, how have we so? And we still have a slavery mentality. We have to get out of that. We have to stand up. We have to get up. We have to come out. We have to demand what is right. We have to demand what is ours. Because if we're waiting for PNM to give us right and wrong, they're doing us sort of wrong. And nobody, when you see that lose power, the president pardoning all of them. You want to see something? They're pardoning all of them. And they will walk free. For what they're doing to us right now, we have to stand up and fight back. We have to fight back. So I'm telling all you, who the cap with, let me wear it. We have to stand up and fight back. Trinidad and Tobago is ours and we're not losing it. We're not giving up. We're not supposed to give up. Fight for what is ours. Fight for what is right. What is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. Let us stand up today. Let us stand up. Let us get out there and do what we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silver Fox from Tobago. And that is Tobago. And let us not make any bones about it. Trinidadians, and I'm distinctive from Tobagonians, must learn the lessons that Tobago, smaller than us, both in terms of population and geographic size, but is a tower of power, strength, commitment, and dedication, and sacrifice. You see, because the PNM believes that because a person may be in abject need, he cannot, of course, fend for him or herself without, of course, the intervention of the CPEP, URP, and all of the other monies that they have accumulated, and, of course, our money, taxpayers' money, and share through policies and programs like CPEP and URP and housing and etc. Because they believe that people are so focused and so committed to their daily survival, and based on what they give, they believe that somehow people are beaten into submission and to accept all what they do. Illegal, pernicious, and evil. But Tobago has demonstrated that there's a greater principle, and the principle is what is right and what is wrong. We will deal with that, of course, after the call, because that is so important. Trinidad, listen, as a consequence, after 21 years, the PNM cannot get 2 seats in Tobago. The last election, of course, they tried to thief it, but it turned out to be 14-1. Bad, serious licks for the PNM. A pleasant good night. Welcome, caller.
Pleasant good evening to you, Lennox Smith.
Same to you, my friend.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Yes.
Wonderful program as usual.
Thank you.
I cannot help but agree with you 100%. We are in trying times now, and everybody knows that. There are those who are pretending. The time has come for us to stop pretending and stand up.
That's right.
I had no other choice but to write a book. The last time I was in the public domain, the Prime Minister came out and ridiculed me. So I guess they should know who is speaking here.
I hear you, my friend. Go ahead.
I'm going to send you that book. I make headlines, a lot of headlines, and everybody said that I lie. I did not lie. I want to make that clear. I did not lie. And now people are seeing. You see, the thing is, the information I have, I cannot speak that, and I will not speak that. Right? Because I am bound by law not to say these things. But the thing about it is, people need to wake up.
Yes.
People need to wake up. The evidence is in front of you. You are the judge. You make the call. And the thing about it is, why we cannot really blame the PNM from trying since in the days of Eric William. Here we made some really, really good strides. But the thing about it is, if we look at the economic side of it, if we look at that, we realize that the PNM missed something that was critical to our benefit. And anybody, any other person who tell you they work hard in this country to build businesses, here's what I want to say. I want to ask them, did you work on the plantation? If you didn't work on the plantation, you did not work hard. You did not work hard. Good? And you can't tell me that black people do no more business, because when you check the universities, we're coming out there with PhD and all kind of thing in business. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. You can't tell me that we are not equal to any and the best in the world. Those stories are yet to be fully told. But of course, we have a duty to expose and to educate and edify. Yes, go ahead.
What is the thing that is missing? And this is where we need to start to open our eyes. What is the thing that is missing? And yes, we as African people, we have to see about our own. I want to say this last thing. You see, the indigenous people in this country,
Yes.
they're supposed to be the richest people in Trinidad and Tobago. Every barrel of oil, every ounce of gas that come out, every pot of gas that come out of here, they're supposed to be getting something. They are the poorest.
I agree.
And people that came from where? We're out in the Middle East. In this country, they are the richest. And we keep pushing people to be ahead of us. Thank you very much.
Yes,
for your,
thank you very much, of course.
your
And of
time.
course, I cannot help while she was speaking to, of course, reference in my brain the 1% created by Rowley to not just overemphasize, but to poignantly, of course, to put it in perspective. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night to welcome to the corridor.
Hello?
Welcome to the
Hello?
corridor. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Lennox Smith,
Yes.
I hope you pay the money that was only off the radio. I hope you pay the money because
Well,
you
well,
might
well,
be
of course,
just
you
so.
see in me that which is in you, and I'm sure that at the end of the day, the police will put their hand on you. So don't bother to call here. I will not represent you. So don't bother to call here. Let's go to the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yes, Dr. Lennox.
Yes, a pleasant good night to you.
Yeah, how you going? Good?
Yes, of course, as good as could be in the circumstances.
All right, I see somebody complaining on the chat that the Facebook are working.
Facebook what?
Again.
Facebook?
Facebook not working. Yeah,
Wait.
Facebook.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yes, boy. Sorry about that, my friend.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
my goodness. All right.
No, but
okay.
I
I'll
will
just
be,
engage
I
you.
on
Thanks.
YouTube, you know. No,
Yes.
I say I will be on YouTube, but I was read through your chat now.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, it's true.
I normally look for comic relief on the chat.
Yeah. So it is now, I know you're looking for comic relief because, of course, all of us have to do our part. But it is up and it is engaged now. Sorry about that. Once
All right,
again,
so-
of course, is an oversight on my part.
I will make a short contribution.
Yeah, go ahead, my
Well,
friend.
I see that
Yes.
I see that the mother toll gone to 29, all right?
Yes, the mother toll, of course, equal to last January. I wonder what the police is saying now, because when it was 14, they say that it was down 44% compared to the equal time or equal period last year. That is in January. Now, I've seen that they have gone definitely silent.
Yeah, but I just said that I saw a killing up over on your side, Nelson Street.
Yeah.
Broad daylight?
Yeah.
That's a
I understand that not too far, just the next street, Charlotte Street on Prince Street side, the police has cordoned off there. No vehicle could go beyond, of course, Prince Street. They had to turn left and onto, of course, and past Nelson Street as well. But of course, it happened on Queen Street, which is the following street if you're heading south. And the body was there up to late this evening. I don't know what has transpired since, because I find these things not nice to witness or to go and watch. So I prefer to see it on social media and so on and make my comment thereafter. But to see it live and so on, I could have gone down there and watched it. But another young man, clearly, and I understand that the situation was he tried to snatch a chain or something like that, and somebody come out from a nearby panel van and shoot him, and they just drive off.
Yeah, well, that is so sad, Mr. Lennox.
Yeah.
Very sad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so good night.
Yeah,
okay.
good night to you. Thank you very much, of course, for of course updating us on that. And the fact is, what is the essence of that story? The essence of that story is that the murder toll has continued to rise. So I think tonight after the program, I will be posting some posts up asking for a state of emergency inside of this state of emergency to deal with the runaway murders, right? That is occurring inside of this state of emergency. That is how ridiculous the situation is. But go ahead, Ms. Santa Cruz. Pleasant good night to you.
Good night, Lennox. Good night to you and to everybody out there.
Yes.
Lennox, you know when we came on late tonight because there was meeting tonight, right?
Yes.
It was
I tried to get in, but I understand the political leader wasn't there, so I switched back to my regular programming. Yes.
Right. It was, and the place was jam packed tonight.
I could well imagine.
Right?
I saw some glimpse of it. Yes.
No, let them come and say no. It was only 50 people was there, and they showed
They have
you.
never said that. There's
you,
only in a PNM meeting you'll get 50 people. Even of course at Napa, hastily arranged attempt to try to project unity, but of course it failed because if it is that you are saying that you are foisting, of course, George Young, and that you are looking at his roots domestically or locally in some far place in the country, etc., and trying to make him an Indian or African, as the case may be. Well, if you're so certain that he's good material,
Chinese.
No. What I'm saying is that if you believe that he's good leadership material, don't call a special convention to camouflage a false unity. Call a convention to select a leader for the party. That's what you should do.
Totally agree.
All what you have said is
Totally agree.
and waste of time. Nobody takes him seriously, but go ahead, my friend.
Lennox, if you cannot dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit.
That is what that was.
Rowley is
Bullshit.
doing to the people.
Yes.
You understand? He coming to fool the people. But didn't you see, I don't know where it was, I just got the clipping of it, that there was a Chinese gentleman talking about he's so happy to see a Chinese leading the government.
Why is Rowley trying to make him an Indian? Why Chinese?
Yes.
Why
the Chinese making him a Chinese,
If you get vexed, Rowley will find a way to make him an African too, you know. Yeah, that's how mad this man is.
Lennox, somewhere along the line, he have Kunta Kinte in him.
Of course.
Somewhere along the line.
You will see some genetic.
Somewhere along the line. Before elections are called, he's going to tell you Stuart Young has a
genetic
1% some African blood or something in him. He tried all
nonsense. I fed up he is ad nauseum now. It's sickening. I don't know. I don't know. But whether they are reluctant or not, the election must be called. That is what I know. And
it has to be called.
all your asses and grasses. But go ahead.
Lennox, but before I forget, I have to tell you,
go ahead.
I gave you a standing ovation just now. I gave you a standing ovation. I am so proud that you put that monster in a corner. Put him in a corner.
That John come lately. I want to play. They could verbally contest. No, know your place. If you're a car park technician, stay in there. You cannot be a surgeon, a brain surgeon, or something like that. Yeah.
But some people show you that they have no shame. No shame whatsoever.
They will die trying. But nothing wrong with that. They will simply die. That's all.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
But Lennox, our next thing is, Rowley is saying, Rowley loves to blame everybody for his failures. And Rowley looked like he was doing that from the time he could have talk, blaming everybody for his failures.
Yeah, the man have
now we're coming to blame Kamala.
That's evidently conspicuous. Yeah, go ahead.
Now we're coming to blame Kamala. She killing the dragon gas seal. Kamala killing it, Yes, she take out she matic. And she empty the clip on the gas seal. And she's going to reload it and deal with it again. Why is this man so stupid?
I just don't understand. A big man who is supposed to be a doctor.
A big man supposed to be lying.
And humiliating himself all over the place. All over the place. I'm not exaggerating. In Trinidad, different parts of Trinidad, Tobago, on the world stage, in the UN, and of course a fake false doctorate. Yes.
Yeah, and lied. Imagine the man stand up at the United Nations and lied about his policies and plans. His policies. for the citizens of this country.
Yes.
The Express did an editorial on it.
Well, I'm going to play Selvin Kojo in a while. I'm going to play Selvin Kojo in a while and what he had to say recently about that, what I consider to be unfolding tragedy. That, of course, is the leadership of the PNM, and clearly it is digging its own grave to the dustbin of political history. But go ahead.
But Lennox, you saw the Women's League went after Kojo for the article he wrote this week. All the murders that taken place in this country, all the 22 babies that died in NICU, the Women's League never even sent out a sympathy to the parents. But Selvin Kojo said that last year, in an article. The only thing that the PNM Women's League do is to defend Dr. Rowley, to defend anything that he says, and so said, so done. But Lennox, I sent you a video of Arnold Roberts picking apart the article that man wrote last week about
caller,
calling
no. We have another caller on the other line, all right? Hold on. Go ahead, Ms. Santa Cruz.
He pick apart what Dr. Rowley put up on his Facebook page about Selvin Kojo being a racist.
Okay.
His article was racist. And when Arnold read it for us and break it down for us, nowhere there was any mention of race. Another lie of Dr. Rowley. And I said it for you. It's something.
Use innuendos, they will use deception.
Yeah, it's something worthwhile.
They will breach, of course, normal, what I consider to be grammatical rules for English in order to get to their evil and, of course, a pernicious way. We know that. So I can tell you how the paragraphs will be structured. I can tell you, because they have one way of structuring. They attack the person and say no. Then, of course, they say what they would do, of course, giving themselves some praise. And then afterwards, of course, they try to give some kind of advice, but always to benefit them. So that's the three stages of a typical letter when, of course, they find themselves in legitimate hot water. But go ahead.
But that article by Anil, it would be worth your while to put it on the program. How we broke it on Shaw Rowley is you must because I sent it for you. Okay. And Lennox, when we had 5 murders, the Port of Spain vagrant saying it's only 5. Well, again, not so much.
I don't know which one. And I just laughing because I know it's just a matter of time. And when them talk, the opposite is always the case. Best Rowley shut his trap and let things flow, because as soon as they talk and they say that things are better now, bram, it suddenly gets worse because they are blind to their thirst. There's something in the atmosphere or in metaphysics that just envelopes them and causes Trinidad to be more problems.
And today it's more murders than days.
Yes.
That is what they were looking for. It's not we were saying it, it's you come and you say it. And I agree with you. We need an SOE within
That's
the
right,
SOE.
within this SOE to curb murders in this country. That is how ridiculous it has come. And let us not waste time with that. Tonight I'm going and tweak on that subject alone. That we need a SOE inside of this SOE in order to address the problem that the previous SOE was supposed to solve, because the previous SOE have not done it. So let's get another SOE inside of this SOE to solve the problem that you say. That, of course, is straight out of Tobago today. Come on, bunch of dunderheads. Yes.
You take care and have a good night, Eleanor.
Yes, man. Yes. Okay, then. All right, let me just get this other call. It's ridiculous, and you need to lampoon them and to caricature them and let them know that they are asses collectively and individually. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Hey, Lennox.
Mr. Lennox.
Oh, yes. Just wait. Let me just make sure.
Hello?
I have 2 persons on the line now, so let me just make sure.
Orlando.
Miss Valsine.
Miss Valsine. Who's this? Tell me where you're calling from.
Miss Valsine.
Miss Valsine, okay. Miss Valsine, just a minute. I have another person on the line. So, Miss Valsine,
that is okay.
You hold on, and of course, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Lennox, Orlando here.
Yes.
Orlando. Hey, Lennox.
Yes.
Is there a talk show with a pastor
Google.
Repeat that for me. I didn't hear it clearly.
I say I was listening to a program while I was working.
Okay.
And there's a talk show host or hoax called Pastor Google.
Oh, Google, yeah. Well, he looks more like a bubble. I mean,
yeah. I know. He looked like a
huge bubble, though. A huge bubble.
Yeah. I saw him on YouTube, like one of the bubble ball. But anyhow,
yeah, Pastor Bubble. I just call him. But go ahead.
Actually, I was listening to a lady call, and she said that she's very disappointed with the PNM, and blah blah blah. But when she looked at Kamala couldn't walk or anything. So I want to know to let that person she listened, whoever listens to him, you don't think with your foot, you think with your brain.
But obviously, no, is any port for a storm to defend the indefensible? That's what that is about, and we know that. So we have been regaled, we have been saturated with that kind of nonsense talk. Is almost ad nauseum now. It's sickening. But go ahead.
Yeah, but the lady started talking about. So I mean, I wish I could have called that guy and say, there's a governor in Texas who sits in a wheelchair all his life, but he's the governor of Texas. Yeah. He don't need to walk. He sits in a wheelchair. He's permanently disabled in a wheelchair. He's the governor. So
but of course, in wartime, you had a Second War president that was a paraplegic.
Yeah,
that's all. Roosevelt. That's all. That's what we said.
And the governor, let me little lady know the name of the governor Abbott. So this people who are calling and think. And one more thing I'll tell you, Lennox, before I hang up. This morning, one Kendrick called, and he is right. You get a tax number which my wife have when she was doing business, and then you get your social security number which is correct. But now it is so hard now for you to get a work permit to come to America. To get a work permit to work in America, the company have to advertise that job on the newspaper.
All right, because of the fair trade nature of that country.
This is how. Let me tell you something. This is. I know someone who did it because the person they have to apply the hospital. Because I know it's my family. He works in the hospital. He's a cancer researcher. They have to apply the job in the newspaper, and if they cannot get one, then they could hire you. And the easiest way for a Trinidadian, let me tell you, I know my friend, we play cricket together, who get his green card through work permit. You know what's the easiest way? You have to get a certificate in Trinidad.
They're subjected, of course, to some of the objective tests that.
You have to, if they want to, you have to apply as a cook.
Oh, I see.
That's the fastest way you can get a green card. You have to apply as a cook, but you have to be a specialist cook, like a curry, because you don't have no school in America to teach you how to cook curry. And that's how my friend get his green card. He waited 10 years, the company sponsored him, and he get his green card. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Thank you very much.
Later, right.
Okay, then. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, for that piece of additional information from what we got this morning. Ms. Valsin, go ahead. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Lennox.
Good night to you. And all the best to you and yours for the new year. We are still in January.
For that already. I talked to you before that. What I call you to tell you, it will be the last time I will be calling. No, not. I'm not talking about I hate your program. I will be going beyond that. You know. And my last, right? So I just want to say your program will go with me into heaven.
Okay.
Your program will be going with me to heaven. I will have that in my mind.
Are you on a hospital bed or something like that?
No. I'm home. No, I'm home.
Oh, you're home.
But I'm not just about a couple of days again.
All right. Okay.
Right, and I don't have to be hypocrite, and I don't have to be privately. I have cancer.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. Well, that visit that I owe you, I think I better make it my duty and find a way to get to you tomorrow.
And as I tell you already,
long agreed.
Your program and the program will always live inside of me and will go with me in heaven.
Thank you.
I want to tell all the colors, thank them for their contribution, especially Miss Santa Cruz.
Right. Yes.
Right? But I can't say it for tomorrow, you know?
Okay.
It's God is in charge.
Yeah, I understand. Let's hope he still performs
God is
miracles.
in charge.
So you never could tell, yes.
Anyhow, in October I will be 70 years, you know.
Yeah.
But I make peace with my Lord. I make peace with everything.
All right.
And who the hell is we, Mr. Lennox? We are nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
We are nothing.
Yeah,
right? We are nothing. We only spending time. We only spending time in a concrete building with roof.
Yeah.
But it's not belongs to we.
Yes.
And I want to tell all your callers, Arima, Miss Santa Cruz especially, I want you to keep up the fort, Miss Santa Cruz. Keep up the fort. You're a fighter. You make me feel like you're Kamala. Right? But Lennox, I listen to your program. I don't even call, but I just listen to the ground report and the corridor translation, and all they will be in my heart whenever I go on. All they will be in heaven.
All right.
Right?
I'll do my best. I promise I'll do my best tomorrow. I'll call you after the program. If it is not too inconvenient, because I know it's a bit late. I know you would want your rest and so on based on what you've said.
My house open all the time for you. How are you coming by me?
Then if I don't call you tonight because it might be too late, I'll certainly call you in the morning and I'll make it my duty to visit
keep
you
up
tomorrow.
The good work
yes. Okay.
And you're doing your best. You're Kamala girl. Right?
Yes.
So thank you, Mr. Lennox. I don't have to hide nothing.
Yeah, thanks very much for that open,
right? My sickness don't have to go in the bank, to pay my bill, no?
Statement, yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, yes, indeed. Let me just get this one. All right. Professor, good night. Welcome. Welcome.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Granny. Good night. Yes.
Yeah, you're doing a real good job. But what I want to tell the caller that just called and say she have cancer. That that might be she last call. Like she feeling like she might pass out. Let me tell you something, Lennox Smith. She don't want to die because of her cancer. You understand?
Yes, yes. That's why I looked into the domain of he still performs miracles. So even if you are diagnosed as such and it's terminal.
It is 7 different types of cancer.
Yeah.
And the doctors can tell you there was a neighbor over the road by me. They give him a short while to live. The man lived 14 years after.
Yeah. Right.
So she could live long. She don't have to listen to the doctor, but she could live longer. And, don't think about she going to be with the master. You understand?
Yeah.
So she could live. She don't have to say she's going with the master and things. I tell her that she could live more than the time. Because my neighbor, they were feeding him too, and he thought so. I said, don't think so, Leo. Don't think so. Just take care of yourself. Use plenty vegetable, use less meat, and you will make it. All right, Lennox.
All right, good advice. And thanks very much, of course, for that good advice. And I'm sure that you're talking from a lot of years on the face of this earth. Of course, whilst we are not yet there, but all of us will get there. The race is not for the swiftest, but it's who can endure to the end. And of course, as the old people saying, where horse reach, donkey will reach. So this life is that kind of, should I say, ride, for want of a better term. But let's go straight to the line once again. We have another call. A pleasant good night to welcome to the corridor. Where are you calling from?
Good night to the Honorable Doctor. How are you?
I'm fine and fine. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Marabella, boy.
Marabella, okay, Marabella. Well.
You know who's calling?
Yes. But I have to make sure, because when another person calls, I want to tell them Mr. Marabella is on the line. All right.
All right, I understand you.
Yes.
Oh boy, Ms. Balsin just give me a headache.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sad news. It's sad news indeed. Yes.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, There's the third seal they're gonna make on the refinery.
The what?
The third sale on the refinery.
Yeah, the third attempt to sell that which, of course, we always say that has no value. That he was glib when he said that, and dismissive when he said, well, if OWT wanted, they could get it. So I thought it was an asset that had no value. If a man speak like that to me, I taken it because he wanted to give it away for free. But it didn't turn out to be so. He's looking for U.S. money now, having, of course, depleted the heritage, our reserves, and so on and so forth, and all the banks.
The information in the Sunshine newspaper.
Caller, just hold on. We have a caller from Marbella on the line. Go ahead, Mr. Marbella.
I'm finishing now.
Yes.
The article in the Sunshine newspaper. Right? The last week papers. It's in that article, page 3. You could read it because it have other articles like the ADB and them in pens.
Okay.
Right? So let me cut off here because I know there are other people calling. So
yes, and
we can talk again.
If you have the article at hand, you could probably send it by WhatsApp for me as well. So I wouldn't have to do any researching.
I lend me neighbor that papers this morning.
All right. Or call me off air. Or call me off air and remind me. Call me off and remind me as well.
All right, okay.
Okay, no problem. All right. Go ahead, sir. Where are you calling from? Marbella as well? Hello? All right, we have lost that one. Yes, indeed, of course. Well, the video behind me, or the picture behind me, you would see, of course, that it talks about, of course, part of the crime eradication. Big word, eradication. Now, when a person could talk about eradication of something like crime, some may say immediately it's pie in the sky. Some may say, well, listen, that fella has big plans. Some may say that is an impossibility. But I always believe that if you want to reach the clouds, you aim for the high blue, for the sky. And of course, you may well reach the clouds as a consequence. But let's go to the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Lennox, good night. You know you had to call back.
Yes. I
After
know you're
hearing
good friend,
that, my friend from Valsain, Miss Valsain, don't give up. But apparently you have already done so because you say you made a peace with your maker. That's the most important thing. But I'm so sorry to hear that you are so seriously ill. You know, that's something we never want to hear, Lennox.
Yes, of
course.
But
you know, where there's life, but I really feel sorry.
Yeah.
Really feel sorry to hear that kind of news, But Lennox, after her husband died with COVID, she wasn't herself, eh?
Yes,
she wasn't herself.
She called several times. I remember that.
She grieved.
Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day. I mean, time when people would have been looking to, of course, enjoy themselves. She was, of course, and we were here, of course, to assist her. So I feel pleased about that. And the fact that she called tonight, I will pay her a visit tomorrow. Caller, just hold on. I have Miss Santa Cruz on the line.
Try Lennox. Try and see if you can go and meet her.
Yes.
And let her know that everybody's here. We praying for her.
Yes.
You understand? But it was really sad to hear. That is really sad news. But what we're going to do, Lennox? What we're going to do? That is a thing that we could never accept.
Yeah. Even though it's part of living.
Yes, part of life. Yes. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. And she's such a trooper. But don't give up.
She's
don't give
a
up.
solid
Cruz telling you don't give up. Yes. Don't give up at all. Don't give up. Go on with a fight. I came in kicking and screaming, Lennox. And I am going out kicking and screaming.
We all will. And I think
Lennox.
What we are saying now may well give her some additional, what I consider to be
you fight.
And some
you
gumption.
Fight. But one thing I must,
I denounce. I denounce.
I
that which they say is inevitable.
Lennox, you understand?
Yes.
But it was so sad, she was always one of my strongest supporters, Lennox. And I was really, really sad to hear that. She used to have him really, really amused. Miss Val saying, tonight is not your last night. Tomorrow night is not going to be your last night. You have a lot more nights to spend with us. So you fight. Lennox, thanks a lot.
Especially when the day of rejoicing will come, when of course the PNM is out of office and the UNC and Kamala Prasad is in. That by itself should be motivation.
You have to see Kamala get back into office.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. All right, Lennox.
Yes.
Take care later.
Thank you very much. Yes, okay. Let me take this call now. This caller has been calling for some time and seems to be getting impatient. President, good night. Where are you calling from? And go ahead.
Hello, good night.
Good night. Where are you calling from?
Central.
Central, okay. Go ahead, Central. Sorry about the interruptions before.
Yeah, Lennox, good night.
Good night, good night. Go ahead.
Yes, your partner who talking to you here, boy.
Yes, go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
Yes, President, good night to you. Tell that lady from Valsine that I say that don't give up. The Almighty God is there. Yeah. She has 70 years and she will live more.
Good.
Let's take care of herself.
Right.
I felt very, 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 very sorry for that lady. I don't know her, but I is one of the members of the ground report, and even you are now to Lennox.
Yes. She is a tower. She is a icon. She is a mainstay. She's a motivator, a mother, of course, and a good advisor. I said she isn't. Notice I ain't saying was because I don't believe the end is there when one predicts. I believe when the end comes, then it comes.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
I will never give up on her. Tell her that I'll say a special prayer for her, though I don't know her. But God will give her health and strength and she will live longer. Tell she don't give up on that 6 and 7 days.
Okay, Mr. Marabella, of course, is speaking, Miss Valsine, about praying and wishing, of course, and all of us will join. And of course, he says that when 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he's here to bless. So maybe this is one occasion where, of course, we are able to bring ourselves together on social media and do what the Lord has predicted or ordained. Yes, thank you very much, Marabella. Yes, indeed. Yes, people, of course. I was making a point about, of course, that picture that is in the back of me as part of that video. But yes, it states, of course, part of crime eradication. Big word. Well, that demonstrates confidence in this case. And the community transformation model developed and accepted by the Ministry of National Security back in, of course, 2009. We will discuss that a little more when we get the opportunity. Of course, we always provide preference to the callers. I see that we have lost that one, so maybe I can continue. And yes, indeed. And you would have seen, of course, the symbol or the emblem of a number of institutions, the army, the police, the part of the prison. You see an organization called OLEP, which is part of the Ministry of National Security, but deals with all of the, what I consider to be the administrative and creative ideas and recorded and put it in proposal and or project orientation. In fact, I want to tell you that the MLI of which I spoke yesterday, the Mova Laventille initiative, was put together by them. That is the part of the ministry that is not well publicized, but they are there working quietly, and they, for example, will organize designs of uniform. They would have been the one that would have had the main responsibility to look at the changing of the police uniform and of course I know for a fact because I had some association with that department. I know that for example, those not litter wardens, but those wardens that we see, of course, in their white and their black and I think a stripe on the side in yellow, and of course their yellow and white, I think, and black, of course, cap. Traffic wardens that you see in various parts of the should I say, main thoroughfare across the country, particularly in the towns and in the cities. Well, of course, that particular organization, a part of the Ministry of National Security, would have been responsible for that kind of let's say, input in terms of making that a reality. So all of them made their respective contributions, but of course, whilst that was so, I was called, as I said, as a lay person, but as one, of course, I have a master's degree in criminology, and of course a diploma in, of course, scientific crime detection and investigation, and I am well versed with respect to fingerprinting and of course ballistics. We could tell from, of course, a certain scientific observation as to whether or not a bullet came from a particular gun. That's the kind of forensic training that one would have had, and so I was called to address the National Security Council by, of course, the then Minister Martin Joseph in 2009, and this was the result of it, and I thought I should share it with you. But of course there are other elements of it that I will want to also, of course, disclose, but in due course. Let's go to the line. A pleasant good night to welcome to the corridor.
Yes, good night once again, Mr. Lennox.
Yes.
And a special good night to the lady from Valsane.
Yes.
Well, listen, Lennox, I said on it.
Yeah.
And I just start to pray one time.
Yes.
Because I hear plenty more life in that lady voice. You hear what I'm telling you?
I hear you.
We don't give up soon. And I know it have a lot of people praying right now.
Oh yes, I think the whole
and I rebuke
world
that.
probably, yeah.
I rebuke that. I would like her to stay, to see the handcuffs go on Rowley, and he go to they carry him to the United States. That is my wish. We have to see all them kind of things. We had to see them lose the election. We had to see that Stuart Young and be no prime minister of this country. So she had to stay a little bit more. If it is really, she had to stay a little more, but let her stay for that. But I still seeing more time in her voice. Her voice still strong.
Okay. Yeah, she sung it very, very strong to me. And,
yeah,
and
like
immediately,
normal.
I was overpowered by, of course, just as you have, because you would have heard it the same time that I would have heard it. And and I too, of course, in my own little way, I mean, it sent chills down my spine, and that shows that something came into the room here, and when she was speaking, and I had to tell her, well, no, we have an election to win, and so many other things, and to which you have made a contribution, and we would love, of course, to see that you see, of course, the fruits of your labor. But more than that,
of course, yes.
Yeah, don't be like. But he was alive when that happened. Moses, of course, didn't see the promised land. He didn't go into the promised land, but he was still alive. So so I wanted to be still around when, of course, that promised land has finally materialized in Trinidad and Tobago. Kamala Persad, of course, and the UNC moving into government in this country.
Well said, Lennox.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. Yes, indeed. Of course, we continue, of course, to take your calls one after the other. Of course, let's take this one, of course, from Tobago, and then we have another one on the other line. So, Tobago, go ahead. Silver Fox, go ahead. And, of course, we'll have the other one. Wait. I think Ms. Valsane calling back.
Ms. Valsane?
Yes, Mr.
Okay. Fox, could you give way to Ms. Valsane, please?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Valsane.
Mr. Lennox,
yes.
I just want to call back to say thank all your callers, your listeners for your prayers, my prayers and all them things. It's 8 years I battling with the cancer.
Oh, I see.
And it's when my husband did with the COVID that threw me back bad.
All right.
So Santa Cruz, San Fernando, Marabella, thank you very much for everything. Right? Thank you for your prayers, for your concern. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Right? I don't know who it's for, but I appreciate it. But this is the last, I'm telling you, you know?
Right.
Right? This is the last. The cancer has gone so far. I don't have to lie. I don't have to pretend. I could talk of my sickness on the phone. It's 8 years I am battling with cancer, you know. But it's when my husband died with COVID, then it get worse, you know. Right?
Yeah.
And I make peace with my children. I make peace with my grandchildren. I make peace with all my family.
Okay.
Right? I make peace with them. I said, all you, this is sickness, you know? This is sickness. Right?
Okay.
Mr. Lennox, I don't eat whatever little bit of food the worker cooking for me. I don't eat no meat.
Right.
Bhaji, bodi, pumpkin, cabbage, vegetables. So, Mr. Marabella, I eat in vegetables. But if we body which has stayed on the body, reject everything.
Wow.
Everything. Just imagine, Mr. Lennox, my children and my grandchildren, I can't come out from the bed. I can't walk. I can't walk. If I had to walk to go in the kitchen, it's like a burden for me.
I hear you.
Right? It's a burden for me. They have to hold me. What a little pain I have. But the cancer reached so far that I tell you already, I make peace with the Lord. I make peace with everything.
All right.
I ask the Lord, whatever I do wrong, I don't know what I do wrong, but forgive me. Because we all have sins.
Yeah.
But we don't know the sins until the Lord judge me.
Yes.
And Miss Santa Cruz, Mr. Marabella, thank you, and all the listeners, thank you. Thank everybody. Mr. Lennox, you, everybody, thank you for everything you have done to me.
All right. Thank you.
Right?
All right, yes.
Thank you for everything. Yes, I mean, I does cry. You think if I cry, you think the Lord will save me? He said, when time for you to go, you have to go. But I make peace with the Lord.
Yes.
I could tell you that. And I ask the Lord, whatever I do wrong on earth, when I was young, I don't know. Let He judge me. Forgive me, Lord.
All right. All right.
Forgive me.
We don't want to hold you up too much because I know you need to rest. Yes.
I'm still waiting for you, you know.
Yeah.
I was cooking that curry duck for you, you know.
I'll call tomorrow, I'm sure. My colleagues
I was
here
cooking
will
that
remind
curry
you.
duck.
Yes.
I was cooking that curry duck for you, you know. Santa Cruz, have a blessed night, darling. Thank you for your prayers, Marabella. Thank you for your prayers.
All right, okay then, thanks. Yes, indeed. Oh, she's in fine spirits, and I think that is a good sign. That's a good sign that someone who believes that, of course, the end is nigh may well, of course, see that it may well not be so. But Mr. Fox, go ahead from Tobago.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. As a child of this earth, you have to rebuke Satan. He's a liar, right? You have to be strong. You don't give up. You don't tell yourself when. God will say when. You don't have that choice, right? Don't give up. Hold the fort. You remember, in this world, no matter what a man do or what happened to a man, you can never come out of this world. You will always be in this world. This world is your home. Although we all are passing through, but hold it down, Miss Walson. I don't know you, but I feel for you. Thank you. Right. And may God keep blessing you. And even in spirit or in flesh. Thank you. Stay strong, my sister. Be in peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Of course, those sympathy, I'm sure, will go a long way. Pleasant good night, Mr. San Fernando. Go ahead. Let me just tell this caller to hold on. Mr. San Fernando is on, so caller, if you could hold on until Mr. San Fernando is complete. Mr. San Fernando, go ahead.
All right.
Let me see there. All right, it appears that I lost Mr. San Fernando, so go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good night.
Yes, good night. Where are you calling from again?
Good night, Mount Hope.
Mount Hope, all right. Go ahead, Mount Hope.
Yeah, good night, Dr. Lennox.
Good night to you as well, my friend.
Dr. Lennox Smith.
Yes, good night to you.
And as always mix up the Smith with sing.
I hear you. Yeah. Maybe after we are longer here, so you would certainly not make a mistake because sing songs straight hereish.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Mr. San Fernando, hold on. I have Mongdo on the line. Go ahead, Mongdo.
Yeah, good night to all the listeners on Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide.
Yes.
I want to tell you, Dr. Lennox.
Go ahead.
That God bless you. I want to tell you that, right?
All right.
Because I mean, we're not stupid people. When we see something, we have to make it out. You know what I mean?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, and I see where God bless you, and brother, and thanks for representing the voiceless and the poor.
Okay.
You know, thanks for that, and because you didn't want to be on that. The kind of education you have, you could have been on a different scene, right? But you choose to be genuine and come to represent us genuine, and we thank you for that.
Yes.
Ms. Valslin, right? I think she should.
Sando, hold on.
Try
have
vegan.
Mr. Sando, Mr. Central.
I think she should try a strict vegan diet. Right? Well, no, I know a doctor, but why I say that is because I know certain cancers just live off like
hold on, I have
meat
Mr. Monk on the line. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Monk. Yeah.
Yeah, certain cancers and things just live off like meat, like chicken, meat products and things. Certain cancers.
Okay.
So a strict vegan diet, this cancer might be able to survive.
Okay.
All right, like bhaji and and them kind of thing. Vegan diet,
Yeah.
So that's my contribution to her. But I pray that God bless her and and still give her a long life. Right?
Okay.
Well, anyhow, let me go because I don't want to stay too long.
I hear you, my friend. Thank you very much, of course, for that contribution. The first time you were tempted and they did in fact make a contribution, or you had made a contribution before? All right, okay, you can call back and let me know.
Speaking to me, Doctor.
Yes.
Speaking to me, Doctor.
Ask him the first time, or is it you have called before?
No, I called before.
All right, okay, good. The voice song.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
All right, the voice song in fresh. All right, so that's why I made I made that inquiry. All right then, thanks very much, of course, for that contribution. Yes, indeed.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. President, good night. Welcome. Point 14 is on the line. President, good night.
But any life.
Yes.
Well, I want to add something here because I realize a lot of people calling in and telling Ms. Vance, to hold on there. God is good and everything, and God is always good to all of us. As long as we acknowledge that He's always good. And it have a saying, God can't come either, son of man.
Yes.
So Ms. Valson, I have a little statement, a little information I want to share with you. Now, my mom that had a friend of mine that had no cancer,
Caller, just hold on. We have a Mr. Point 14 on the line. So just hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Point 14.
Right. So this is for everybody else who's suffering with cancer and other stuff. So my mom had a friend of mine that diagnosed with cancer. So what is my mom did? The nuni fruit, she ended up getting ripe ones and blend it and strain it and bottle it out and give her to drink. Right? That is one thing she could use. 2, the big time leaf. You join that and you drink it. Right, as tea. 3, the periwinkle flowers, what people that use as ornament in the yard. It have the pink, it have the red, it have the white. That 2 are known to have cancer fighting particles in it. You could draw that and drink it as tea and all too. And this is information that I get recently. And I decided, since I hearing that she diagnosed with cancer for 8 years, she could use these things on them because it have a lot of plants we have in we are here. We didn't realize these plants and them have benefits.
Yes.
So much of benefit behind it. So I just say let me call and let she know that it have things.
Providing a herbal remedy. Yeah. The nuni plant. It's only recently I got to know what was a nuni. I knew my impression coming from Laventille, a nuni has a particular connotation for me. But of course I understand that there is such a plant as well, because of course we normally would refer to a particular part of the female as a nuni. But I hear you.
And even the moringa leaves and them and all too. You pick some of that and you eat it. Even the baby spinach.
Okay.
Right? All them things, because you have to use a lot of greens. Should alkaline the body because cancer does scare the world in alkaline body.
So it's anti-carcinogen qualities that they would have. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
But I know my mom had a friend of mine that had cancer, and the nuni juice is what she used, and this woman come back.
Maybe if you could put it maybe on a little note to me on WhatsApp, I'll certainly try to get it to her when I'm visiting her tomorrow, because I certainly will have to know that that situation has developed. I don't want to say crisis. I don't want to say inevitable. I don't want to say fatal. I don't want to use those words at all. We want to see her see the fruits of her labor with all of us. Yes.
That is why I call. That is why I said I'm calling
yes.
to one.
Thanks very much, of course, for that intervention.
Share this information.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. All right, caller from Laventille, I believe Success Village. Go ahead.
Yes. Good night, Mr. Lennox, and good night to everybody who's on the live. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Lennox, listen now. Well, the brother who just spoke there, right? He said a lot of the things that I was going to suggest, because it is evidently clear that germs and things, any kind of disease cannot live in an alkaline body.
Right.
Right, and I was going to suggest that I think that the person who have the cancer issue should stick to a more green juices, green juices. Things like she can juice things like celery, parsley, ginger, kale, and these things.
Yeah, well,
blend
I
it
think
together.
she was speaking along that line.
She should drink a lot of juices.
Yeah.
A lot of green juices. If she have a juicer, or if she don't, she could always use a blender and use the green juices, because chlorophyll, once remember, chlorophyll is closest to the blood, right? Because even right now my wife is sick also, and I take her off all medications, right? I don't allow her to use no kind of sugar, kind of sugar except well fruit sugar. Well, the sugar that is from fruits. But apart from that, the normal sugar we just buy in the shop and thing, no, stay away from those things. Those things are poison. Sugar is poison naturally.
Manufactured sugar.
Yes. Yes. Don't drink those things. But let you drink green juices, right? Because cancer thing cannot, and any disease cannot survive in an alkaline body. So I was just going to suggest that to the person.
All right? Good. I'm sure that that is welcome, and it would have been heard. Thank you very much for that contribution.
Yes, okay. Let me go. Let somebody else come in.
All right,
okay?
Because I know you would have had some political comment to make in the process as well. Don't forget, of course, the issue that would have given rise to Miss Valsane's contributions on night, particularly over the weekends and a Sunday, is still around, and therefore, please don't be in any way a sort of apprehensive or relent in any way, because we have to, of course, forge forward. We have to be consistent, and we have to be as resilient as possible. Resilient here meaning that we must not to be swayed in any way from the objective of getting rid of this curse, this blight, and this deceiver called the PNM, led by, of course, a man who clearly has lost his marbles, Keith Christopher Rowley. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, pleasant good night. Welcome. Go ahead.
Good night. Good night, Lennox.
Good night to you. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Kudupia. This is Postman father.
Postman father, yes. How are you, man? And all the best to you, your family, and everybody else. This is a wonderful night, man. Go ahead.
Man, I studied that lady, boy.
Oh, you study? All right, okay, I hear you. Yes.
Oh, my God, boy. And that lady, I feel for it, boy. I really feel.
All right. Because I know you don't normally call. You don't allow either the son or somebody else. But you were driven to call tonight.
Yeah, boy. I feel that all day, boy. I really feel that
all right,
lady, boy.
I hear you. All right. That's it.
All right.
Okay then. Thanks. Thanks for of course.
Yeah, well, you have a nice program, boy. I'm watching you right now.
Thank you, my friend. Yes,
you know, I don't miss the wrong report and miss your report, right?
All right, I hear you. Okay,
yeah,
then. I'll
pray for the little lady, right?
Yes. We all will be doing that.
Okay,
yes?
all right.
Bye-bye. Of course, we have another call. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor. This is
good night.
Yeah, this is what. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mova.
Mova, yes. Go ahead, Mova.
I'd like to Miss Walsin, I pray that God miraculously intervene in your life and heal you and give you a long life and without any pain. I trust that God will spare your life and intervene and get rid of this sickness and give you a long life without pain, and you could enjoy your life with your children and your family and with the ground report and with the corridor transformation. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, of course. Don't forget, of course, we are talking in the spirit of liveliness. We are speaking in the spirit of life. We are speaking in the spirit of, and we are speaking to the spirit of existence. And we will not, of course, give in or cave in to the other side of those facts. So we are speaking to life, and we are saying that live it abundantly, because he said so, he spoke it, and of course he meant it, and in certain circumstance. And even if, of course, I don't even want to go there except to say that he can and still do perform miracles, right? I'm not going to entertain any negative tonight, because I don't think it will do justice to Miss Valsain. We want to see her reap the benefits, even if, and reaping here means just to be around, to hear and to see the victory that, of course, will be handed by the people to Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. Yes, we have to couch it in that context, because clearly anything else will be, of course, defeatist in nature. So let us not waste time. All right. So I was making the point. Let's go to. Okay. Here she comes again. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Lennox. You see, Mr. Marabella and Lavanti, all what it say about the marunga leaf, the spinach, which is the poi bhaji. I have did all that. I have that plant in my yard.
Okay.
I have that, and I want to thank
that
them
because
for
of the vegetarian
everything.
nature that you indicated
Yes,
earlier.
I cannot eat the meat. I can't eat meat. It's spinach, which is his poi bhaji.
Yes.
Karai. So I want to tell him, thank him, but I have all that in my yard.
Okay.
The noonie, all them things, I do all that. But when time come, you have to think, you understand? Mr. Lennox, you don't
I really appreciate
money.
the spirit that you are speaking in, and
Mr. Lennox, you don't have a damn clue, and nobody, how much money I spend to get better, If money could have take health, money would have make me better.
Yes, I hear you.
Right? But I am there, I'm good, my voice is strong. And once the ground report is there, and I'm there, my voice will be strong. As I tell you already, I can you in my heart, in heaven. Let the angels sing the trumpet and say, look, Lennox and Andy and him. I have everything planted in my yard, The spinach, the Burunga leaf, the noni, everything. I try everything, you know. Mr. Lennox, one doctor alone. I don't have to call the doctor name. Tell me he take $135,000 from me, you know. Say to get better, you know. But one thing I got to tell you, I make peace with my Lord. I make peace. And long wherever I did, Santa Cruz is there with me. That woman is an angel, you know. She is an angel. And my voice is strong, but my body is strong. But I come to terms with the Lord. So thank everybody, Marabella, Lavanti, everybody. Thank all you for your comment, your prayers, and all you will always be in my heart. And let me give somebody a chance.
Yes, thank you very much, of course. And go and rest, go and rest. I know that you wouldn't rest until the end of the program, because it's clear that in spite of your challenge, certainly you are steadfastly committed to that cause that we all are praying that you live to see manifested in due course. We don't have the Rowley has no choice but to call it this year. So we are talking the better part of about 11 months again, and within that he must call it that day of resistance, or his recalcitrance will certainly have to be not just diminished but be abolished, as he of course attempted to hoodwink us by some kind of concocted helter-skelter, higgledy-piggledy, capricious, what they call, of course, a special convention. Imagine a special convention, not a convention, no convention to deal with a political leader. No convention to deal with the internal elections that was postponed last year, in circumstances clearly where Rowley had no intention of I should say, leaving the position that he has announced he will be leaving as Prime Minister and the leader of the party. Why? Because he said to us that he wrote not the Commonwealth, but the CARICOM Secretariat to have independent observers here. That is not a man who leaving it for his successor. So there was no succession planning. This was helter-skelter, and this was, of course, done in haste. And I have concluded that the advent of Trump meant the exit of Rowley. Forcefully, involuntarily. Let's go to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome. Say where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Mr. Lennox. I'm calling again.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to let Miss Val to know that within my prayer. Get well soon. Right? But I call you to tell you something else.
Go ahead.
Mr. Marbella had called you earlier, right?
Yes.
In connection with the Petrotrin.
Yeah.
Right. The Petrotrin refinery has stalled again for the third time. You see?
Yeah, well, I think today was the final day for the submission of proposals for the three.
Well, it has stalled again for the third time.
And what happened?
The third time. It has stalled again.
Oh, for the third time.
So that is out for the time being.
Okay.
So what they have it is they have it in preservation mode. Preservation mode.
Yeah, they call it mothballed.
Well, it's mothball, yeah, well, technically mothball.
Yeah.
And it's $500,000 every month.
Yeah, boy.
$500,000 every month, Dr. Lennox.
Yeah, apart from similar to paying, of course, Maduro. I think is it $1 million US a year or is it a month?
$1 million a year. $1 million.
Whichever it is a huge amount of money, because you have to multiply that by 7 or 10.
Okay, but here the part now. It's $37 million in the shutdown, you know. They're paying some ball.
Yes.
I work it out.
No. This is profligacy. I mean, I consider it to be high treason by this government.
Yeah, but
high treason. And they will get what is coming to them, all of them, for conspiring to plunge Trinidad and Tobago and not act in Trinidad and Tobago's best interest, for which they took an oath, and for which, of course, they issued and, of course, created a manifesto that told us that in order they could do better. They could, of course, do more with less. All that kind of hogwash. Today, we are reeling for $50 US. Go ahead, my friend.
Yes. So you see how one time wasted on the public purse.
That's right.
57 million.
There must be some kind of penalty for that. They can't get away with that. A few of them put in 1.5 million people, except them, under this level of depression and oppression orchestrated by them. No. There must be something to be salvaged from this by the people and for the people. Go ahead.
So I have to call you another time because I know you're getting chance to go through your explanation and thing, right? So
yes.
But I have a lot to discuss with you concerning
and from time to time you could send it by WhatsApp as well, and we probably could
call me. I just talking WhatsApp. I sent something there tonight.
Okay, right. And call me outside of the time of the program where you can inform me a little more. We could share some kind of conversation on the matter. Okay.
No, that Kaiso sent for you.
Calypso? Okay, no. I can't help you with that. I can't sing, and nor can I back up.
No.
I know you're talking about. I know you just finished and so on. Yeah. All right, thanks.
I explain that Calypso.
Yeah, okay then. Yes, my friend. But people, of course, the topic that I wanted to expatiate on tonight, to elaborate upon tonight, obviously has been preempted. So I would want to, of course, continue with this discussion tomorrow night. We just have about 4 more minutes before the end of the program. I promise one friend, and let me say where he is in Samoa, so you know who he is. I won't call his name. And he says that when you say you're going to end, please end, because sometimes I give him sleepless nights because he has to go on a half an hour after, because I simply would not come off. So let me say that we only have 4 more minutes. I just want to share with you another part of this video. Tomorrow we'll play it again tomorrow, because it's important for people to understand that Rowley and they are not the repository of any kind of creativity or inventiveness, and can be clearly seen as abusers of the state purse. Because there are among the population, among the residents, persons, as one caller, he says that he knows me, so I would love to know that he knows me, in the sense that I would love to talk to him and to greet with him and to converse. But the point of the matter is that there are people who are in the community who have done work addressing the problem a long time ago, and because of the evil that is the PNM dominating and seeing these communities as voter banks and not to deliver sustainable delivery, amelioration and transformation, and therefore attitudinal changes. We are caught up in this quagmire, this dilemma, and they must be held totally responsible. And I'm saying the first stage of that process of transformation is that you must get rid, and pardon pardon the pun on cancer, but have to get rid of this cancer called, of course, Rowley and the PNM on the east-west corridor, from Carenage, or put more specifically, from Chagaramas in the west, through the various Diego Martins, as far as the 3 constituencies are concerned, right up into Port of Spain South, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and we go right up, of course, until Toco, Manzanilla. And then, of course, jump over the Central and go straight to Labre and Point Fortin. We must get rid of the PNM. We have a mission. We have a responsibility not to be further humiliated, embarrassed, and be subjected to the maladministration and the larceny, the stealing of the rightful benefits of the people, and in particular the young people who we will leave to manage. And if they are not in good hands, or if they don't have good exemplars or good examples to follow, Trinidad and Tobago will, in a meteoric way, inevitably plunge into what I consider to be economic, social, cultural darkness. That kind of abyss is not right. Having regard to the fact that we gave the PNM since 1956 all the chances to do right unto the people and the country. And after 40, 50 years, and they celebrated, 67 years, in some special convention, they say, to try to suggest that they are cohesive and united. That is what that is about. Optics. Propaganda. We know them for who they are. And to, of course, the rank and file and the rest of us to accept Stuart Young as the next Prime Minister. Because Rowley was involuntarily forced out of those positions, or of that position. We know without fear of contradiction, because common sense and logic and rationality and deductive reasoning will, of course, draw the conclusion that I'm drawing now, as you, I'm sure, and I'm inviting you so to do if you have not yet drawn that conclusion, that it was not by accident or by any planning that Rowley decides to make his exit. No. None of the indications suggest that. The very trauma, the very upheaval, the very implosion that the decision generated, whether they went on some retreat or come back to Port of Spain, in that, of course, blood money house, blood money edifice called Balisay House. Yes, blood money. And they made the decision. So from 9 to 21 all. Clearly, Rowley didn't have any succession planning. In fact, I want to tell you, those of you who read Shakespeare, let me close with that. Remember in Macbeth, the three witches, when they talk about fear is foul and foul is fear. It is that tragedy that is the PNM onto Trinidad and Tobago. Fear is foul and foul is fear. Rowley and them can't tell the difference between right and wrong, as they did so much wrong. So much wrong. Let me just get this caller. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Hello?
Lennox.
Hey.
Yeah, me on here.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm on air now. I'll call you afterwards if you're not, if it wasn't to make a contribution on the program.
All right, gotcha.
All right, okay then. Yes, indeed. Fear is foul, and foul is fear. Can't tell the difference. And of course, the witches set up Macbeth. Saying that he will be king. It is ordained and destined. And he did things just as Rowley. He believed that he was ordained to be prime minister and did things to become prime minister. Well, in Macbeth, if you read it, read the summary. Go online and read the summary. You will see that Macbeth, of course, and his wife, of course, complicit. And when I read Macbeth and I know of Rowley and his evil agenda, you will see that in Macbeth there is, of course, an example of the fake emails. Yeah, they orchestrated things, and they concocted signs towards, of course, including, of course, even in case of Macbeth, murder as a kill, of course, the titular or the incumbent king in order, of course, to replace him because they believe it was ordained. Well, if you have to take that situation in Macbeth and superimpose it on Trinidad and Tobago and Rowley, then you have to say that when Rowley said he went where? Yeah, he went to Koto and Manning ended up dying. Think about it. Read Macbeth and you will see, of course, there's nothing new under the sun. And at the end of the day, Macbeth's reign was horrendous, horrible, terrible, and turned into a total despot as Rowley has been. And still going down dying, trying, of course, to manipulate so as to somehow generate the impossibility of sanitizing himself to look good and saying that he has some kind of legacy. No, the legacy will be he has destroyed the Trinidad and Tobago. That will be the legacy. And in addition to that, in the process, destroy the PNM. Let's take this final call. This is my friend, so I don't want to, of course, disappoint him. A pleasant good night, my friend. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, I hear only say, Maduro vex with me. So we ain't getting no gas.
Of course, it's a confession of failure, obviously, a repeat, a regurgitation of course, sandals. They say what is in the end will be in the beginning and vice versa, or something to that effect. That is what has happened to this man. This man has gone totally insane. Yeah. As it was in the beginning, so it shall be in the end. Well, that is what is happening. The thing has come full circle, and now, of course, we're talking about Macbeth and, of course, the three witches and how he thought he was ordained to be king, just as Rowley, and engaged in all kinds of underhanded and evil, and as a consequence, it collapsed on him. That is what is happening here now. Go ahead. Yes, my friend.
Right? And the next thing is, we had to worry about short again. You ever know Lal Bihari? Lal Bihari is his name?
His what?
Lal Bihari.
Oh, I see. That is his name?
That's what it is. He come from Lal Bihari trade somewhere in David.
Yeah, but the thing about it, my friend, as I keep saying, everybody with a modicum of common sense, you have a special convention to sanitize or to hoodwink the rank and file, bring them together, and of course the conspiracy among the leadership and so on to orchestrate that devious act. But all you had to do was to convert that to a convention for the leadership. That's all. So therefore, all the hogwash he spoke is null and void and of no effect. The waste we money, I'm sure part of our money went into, of course, hosting that thing at Napa. That because that's how they do it. They steal viciously.
And Lennox, last night when I was talking about them dictators all over the world.
Yes.
Don't forget Ceausescu and his wife from Romania, you know.
Yes.
When the time they come, them soldiers line them up. You own men, eh?
Yeah.
Line them up against a wall and they go some dog and them big like lion.
Yeah, of course, because they're too evil. Hitler, he killed himself in the bunker. Of course, Saddam Hussein was in a foxhole and they dig him out and claiming that to still be president. And then, of course, they had to hang him or gas him wherever it is. And then, of course, you had, I think the most egregious is that of course, this fella from Libya. I mean, he was shred to pieces. The people just pull him apart. You know, so there are different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
And
Gaddafi from Libya, yes.
Yeah, but to me that was an injustice. Yeah.
But whatever it is, the fact is that you kill, you persecute your people, and the retribution came, and whether it was an injustice or not is irrelevant. The fact is that occurred, and the people are satisfied that they did vengeance. They took vengeance in the circumstance.
The next thing I want to tell you, I see on the news they say the Chinese Association supporting Churchill.
Yeah, obviously.
So, that could be, you know what I'm telling you?
Huh?
I don't know about that. That could be propaganda because let me tell you something. The Chinese, but these new Chinese who come in the country, the Chinese I didn't know in my time.
You see, all these kinds of elements will come out of the woodwork now. The Fatah's Brigade, of course, better known as the PNM Women's Arm, they will talk. You know, as soon as the government changed, they gone silent. All of them gone silent because they can't. They only speak to of course defend the evil and the indefensible. That's what they do, and that is their job. Everybody knows that, and they believe that somehow they have some credence as people taking them. But of course, we are going to talk about it because that is our job, and to share it with the population to make them not to be hoodwinked or deceived by when these people coming out with the innuendos and the deceptive talk. But outside of that, really and truly, they are persona non grata. They are simply irrelevant.
Let me tell you something, Lennox. The Chinese, I didn't know in my time.
Yes.
All around the South area, all them things. I don't know who they used to vote for. If it's PNM or whoever.
Yeah.
But I ask him about my right church, I'll never go vote for you.
The thing about it is that Rowley is still at the helm, and he will orchestrate those kinds of propaganda construct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. That's Rowley. I mean, come on. We see the man. We see the man operate with email gate. We see him operate with, of course, the section 34. We see him operate with, of course, the woman. Yeah. And all of them were a storm in a teacup. A storm in a teacup. Right. Manufactured, invented, created, and choreographed by him. Every single thing that is evil in this place, this man has a hand in it.
The Chinese and the Chinese Association, in my time, they were decent people, right?
Yeah.
They may go vote for no Nazi vote man like that one way.
Yeah. So we know where it came from. So I'm not going to be bothered or in any way pull any gray hair out to think about why they would want to, of course, make a statement at this point in time. I know that is a orchestration by Rowley. He goes to bed, and all he has done for the last 10 years is conjure up, manufacture all kinds of evil to deceive the people, and hopefully, in spite of the evil, to stay in office. And of course, want to thief an election as well. Those are the things that we have to safeguard against, and that is where we are going.
Well, we will more and more money in this country.
Yeah, all right, I want to end now.
So tomorrow we go talk.
You talk tomorrow, yes, that's right. Oh boy, all right. All right, let me take this final call. Make it as short as possible, caller, because I need to go. It's 30 minutes past. Go ahead, caller.
All right. Greatest Trinidad and Tobago, and we shall prevail.
Yes, man. That's it. I hear you. Well, of course, Selman Kojo said that great is the truth, and it shall prevail. Sorry, I can't play it for you now, but I'll play it, of course, tomorrow night. Just to say, of course, in the background there's something called the Joint let me just get it closer. The Joint of Community Services Center, governance structure. Well, that was the results of the meeting that I had with the Security Council, the National Security Council, under the auspices and invitation of the then Minister of National Security, Martin Joseph, and this document came as a consequence. So we had this structure that would be the mainstay, the hinge-pin or the kingpin of the whole program, so that we go into the communities and we make timely and real-time intervention, whether it be Baptist churches, whether it be civil and civic groups, civil society and entities, churches, etc. And of course, we then make sure that we target these young people inside of the community, and we catch them before they join the gang or somebody influence them and so on. So if it is that we have to give them something that they would need because mommy doesn't have the food, we provide that. And of course, if they want to get a job, we provide the clothes and we provide the passage, etc. For a certain period, all of that. But it has to be inside of the community. That is the essence. And that is essentially what the empowerment zone was all about. Of course, I will share with you, of course, the political arm of the initiative. Remember, I gave you 4 on the last occasion. Let's go it over again. We have the MLIO, which we dealt already with. We have, of course, the MLI, which this is part of, Mova Lavantil, the Mova Lavantil Initiative. Then we have the LFL, Lavantil for Lavantilians. And then, of course, we have a 4th one, which is LOVE, the political arm, Lavantil Outreach for Vertical Enrichment. All of these structures were supposed to come together in order to impact on the community, and as we boldly said, to what? To eradicate. Let me just bring it up for you. To eradicate. To eradicate crime. Yeah, look at here. To eradicate crime. Let me just get back to the end here. Yes. To eradicate crime, eradicate crime in Lavantil as a pilot project, and then we go down to. We always say, you solve the Lavantil question and you solve crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? Because that is the place where there's higher than national average murders. Of course, we had, I understand, 1 or 2 today. Higher than national average school dropouts, higher than national, and those school dropouts that the ministry can't find. When you drill down into it, you will see most of them have come from these parts. Let's not waste time. We know, we understand what is happening. And for a very long time now, it's just that the PNM, they're so self-serving that they were trying to reinvent the wheel, as of course Cummins coming now and say that you have youth program and this one and of course this agricultural thing. No, that is obsolete. And guess what? You're only catering for about 10 or 5 persons. I see Heinz talking about he assisted a group of young people at the technology center, which of course it was my invention anyway. But he went there and of course he was talking about them. And so my concern was the numbers, because of course we are talking about every year some 13,000 of them leaving school, and about 9,000 of that, 900 of that will be from Lavantil and environs alone. And guess what? When he tell me, well, I'm interested as to how much youth he talking about. The man tell me 6 youths that he helped. I helping 300 at a time at the MLIO, because the circumstance requires that you must have a mass program to address this burgeoning problem. 6 is a drop in the ocean. Heinz, Rowley, you bunch of nincompoops. So people, before I start to cuss, let me finish the program now. And of course, we are in the ghetto, so let's end where we started. And that is, of course, to treat with the ghetto issue.
Hey, on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto. Cause if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
Don't forget, of course, tomorrow morning, the ground report, Andy, Mike, and myself. And of course, tomorrow night, back here with yours truly, Lennox, on the corridor transformation. Miss, of course, Valsin, you have moved all of us. And I assure you that our prayers will be with you. And I know he still performs miracles. All right?
The child needs a helping hand, or he'll grow to be an angry young man someday. Take a look at you and me. Are we too blind to see? Do we simply turn our heads and look the other way? Well, the world turns. A hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the street as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. His hunger burns. He starts to roam the streets at night. He learns how to steal and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Then one night in desperation, the young man breaks away, buys a gun, he steals a car, he tries to run, but